பர்த்திபுரிநாதன் தாழ்நிலம் பணிவோம். பர்த்திபுரிநாதன் தாழ்நிலம் பணிவோம். பர்த்திபுரி போவோம். பக்தி நெறி அறிவோம். பக்தரோடு கூடுவோம்.
பக்தவத்சலனை பாடுவோம். சித்த கமலத்திருள் சித்தனை காணுவோம். பித்தனாகுவோம். முக்தியும் எய்துவோம். அவன் நலன் நாடுவோம். புகழ் பாடுவோம். தாய் தேடுவோம். சாயில் சேருவோம். பர்த்திபுரிநாத பிரபு स्मरे हम. पर्तिपुरी जागे भक्ति सीखे हम. भक्तों से मिलकर भक्त वत्सल गाए हम. हृदय कमल पर दया मूरत देखे हम. दीवानी हुए हम. मदन लगे हम. जाए हम गाए हम. देखे हम सोए हम.
May we all remember and pray to the Lord of Puttaparthi always and daily. Let's all journey to the land of Puttaparthi and learn the secrets of devotion. Let's all join with fellow devotees and sing the glory of our Lord. May we see Him in our hearts. May He install in our hearts. Install Himself in our hearts. May we all become mad with devotion and love for Him, yearning for Him. And may we all attain liberation. This thought swells in me on this auspicious occasion of Aradhana. This is the 11th Aradhana day we are all celebrating. Whenever Swami has spoken about Aradhana, he has held out Radha as the example of Aradhana. He says Radha was one of the most excellent of gopis, who set the best example of a devotee, was continuously thinking of the Lord and praying to Him in all times, in all manners. Radha, as like a dhara, like the oil flow of an oil, without any break, he prayed to the Lord, Aradhana. So that's what our goal should be on this day. We should remind ourselves. Because Radha was a devotee who was present during the times of Krishna. We were fortunate, or we are fortunate, to be contemporaries of the Lord, having witnessed Him. And she should be our example to really worship the Lord. The Lord promised that He will incarnate time and again. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tatapnyanam srijamyaham. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, saying that whenever there is a danger to dharma, the practice of dharma, he will incarnate again and again in every yuga to uplift dharma. So the Lord descends and he works very hard, which we have seen in our lives. Swami was born in 1926 in a village which was not touched by any civilization. And he worked hard day and night. From the age of 14, he left home in that God-forsaken village where God himself took incarnation. And he worked systematically, bringing into his fold people from distant lands. And he was trying to teach them how they should live and what's the process of life. In that process, he established this practice of coming together as a community and joining in unison and worshipping the Lord in many ways, praising, singing, serving him, and learning from him. For all this, he has set us this framework of how we come together, and today also we are celebrating. So Swami created what's called satsanga, a company of the good. Even in Buddhism, Buddha says, Buddham sharanam gacchami, dhammam sharanam gacchami, sangham sharanam gacchami, which is Buddha, you should surrender to the Buddha. In our case, it is Swami. We surrender to the Sai. Dhamma charanam. What he has taught is dharma. And then we should also surrender to the community, the Sangam, the collection of devotees. Only through this path we will be able to benefit from Swami's incarnation. So he worked very hard in trying to instill the brotherliness among us. In spite of our differences, coming together, working together, and learning to pray together. And also he set up a home for us. Because the reality is, though God is present everywhere, he was present everywhere always. He was present always, even when Swami was physically moving among ourselves, he was present everywhere. And he is present everywhere even now. So that has never changed. But the physically God descends on earth. Swami has himself explained why does God descend on earth. Because he says that if you read about a food item or a sweet, Swami says Mysore Pak or Rasagulla or Laddu, you will never enjoy it, you will never be able to taste it. Just because you read and you imagine doesn't mean that you enjoy it. You will know the taste. You can imagine. So he says you have to taste. Without the taste, you will never know what Mysore Pak or Gulab Jamun really is. So the same way, even though we understand that God is present everywhere, unless we taste it firsthand, it is not possible. So he says it has to be a physical experience, it has to be a mental experience, it has to be an intellectual experience, and it has to be a spiritual experience. And he says the Gopikas, in this case Radha also we spoke about, the Gopikas set the example for that. It so happened, the Gopikas, Swami tells a nice story. The Gopikas were always yearning, hankering after Krishna, because after Krishna left Gokulam, he never returned. And they were depressed and sad, but they were always thinking of the Lord. And so Uddhava apparently heard about it. Uddhava was a companion of Krishna and he was a good friend. So Uddhava told him, Krishna, and sought his permission. See, Krishna, these Gopikas are suffering because they are unable to see you. So I will go and, give them some advice. So Krishna smiled and he said, okay, if you wish so, you go. Then he said, Uddhava said, you write a letter and give me as, that I am coming as your emissary, so they will listen to me. So Krishna wrote a letter and sent. And Uddhava landed in the Vrindavan and he was talking to the Gopikas and saying, look here, Krishna is everywhere. You should be able to see him everywhere. And they told him, look here, we don't want your philosophy. We want Krishna. If you can bring Krishna, you bring him. Otherwise, you go away. And, it's a long discussion. But basically, Uddhava realized that he thought that they did not understand Krishna was everywhere. Even though they knew Krishna was everywhere, they wanted to physically experience him also. So no doubt, when Swami left his physical form, all of us were upset that we don't have this opportunity of going to Puttaparthi and seeing and having an audience or seeing Swami move. But then the reality in this world is, as Swami says, every body which comes has to perish one day, it has to go over. And Swami also has to leave the body. But he made sure that he installs himself permanently, forever. And that is a Sannidhi where Swami is still present in Puttaparthi. Because Swami, from the year 1999 onwards, Swami had been telling people where he would rest for eternity. The reality, there is so much of unrest in India about Rama Janmabhoomi, Krishna Janmabhoomi, where Krishna was born and Rama was born and so on. Whereas we know that there is a place where our Lord resides. Unless we protect it, we have the connection, that will also be lost as time passes. So what Swami did was, he energized Prashantali Devi in many different ways. Every single building, every single statue or divine form which was installed had sacred formulas, mantras as they are called, have been all granted. So that center will be fully energized and protected forever, as long as human race lasts. So he has installed himself there, which is Sannidhi, and he is still present. And I think Aradhana is a celebration of that. Because we celebrate in that Sannidhi. And we have to have a physical connection with that. So this theme of connection to Parthi can be seen in 1968 when the first World Conference was conducted. The organization was in its nascent stages. There were no proper structure. Swami set up a few committees to discuss various aspects of the organization. And one of the committees which was set up to specifically discuss people from other countries. That committee was headed by someone called Howard Murford. I think many of you know. He has written the book of Man of Miracles and a few other books, which have brought many devotees to Swami. So he was the head of that committee, which explored ways of keeping the connection alive to Puttaparthi of every single devotee in the world. So Swami was paying personal attention to make sure that wherever people are, our connection remains strong and direct. In even other religions, you can see every Muslim, every day when prayer time, they will face Mecca. And it is one of their religious duties in their life to make a pilgrimage to Mecca. Hajj, Yatra as they call it. If they can afford it, they should make. And that is the yearning of every single devotee. Why? Because that is the one which will connect us to the physical Lord and make us experience His divine presence. The reality is, when a divine incarnation leaves the body, and not physically present, generally there is turmoil, because we are all looking for something physical to hang on. So we seek others, other gurus, other spiritual traditions to fill that need. It's okay, I think each individual has to make their choice. But those of us who know of the divinity of Swami, who are planning to celebrate Aradhana, should never forget that we have to be connected to Him. We have to find His physical presence where He has installed Himself permanently. We should never think that Prashanthi Nilayam or Puttaparthi is without Swami. We should yearn to go, because that is where the Lord is still present. Maybe He is not moving or not visible to us, but He is present there, still guiding and connecting everyone, and He has established that place before He took residence there permanently in the Sannidhi, divine Sannidhi. I'm reminded of, while talking about the Gopikas, one of the things one of the song which Swami sang is, I would like to recollect. Swami says, Pushpambuvai neevu polpondu chundina tummadagai naine tiruguchundu. That is, if you become a flower, the Gopikas are singing to the Krishna, if you become a flower, let us be the bees which go around you, humming and wanting to enter you and drink the nectar which is within that flower. Vrikshambuvai neevu vardillu chundina vallakani neeku allakundu vallikanai neeku allukundu. If you become a tree, we would like to be a creeper which twirls around you and be embracing you. Vara samudramuraini vainam vahini yaguchu nilo nenu aikyamagudu. If you become an ocean, I want to become a river which will merge in you. So that is a strain with which apparently Gopikas worshipped. Because they wanted that physical presence. They said, whenever you are born, wherever you are born, we want to be born with you. The same thing, I think, in many other languages also devotees have prayed. I think every one of you must be familiar with Mannanalum Tiruchenduril Mannavian. Nanoru Maramanalum Palamudir Cholayil Maramavian. It's a very famous song. That is, we should understand that if we have taken a physical form, we should be connected physically to the Lord. That is the celebration of Aradhana. Because every other day, we may forget this. So it's a reminder to us that we should continuously be connected. In this process, sometimes there are confusions. Sometimes we think somebody else can guide us. We should be very clearly understanding that our connection should be direct with the Lord. Whatever way in which we can connect to Prashanthi Nilayam, we should make every effort to be connected to that. Generally, the problems which we encounter is our own distractions in this world, our own attachments to the world and the people around us, sometimes our own egos. Because these are always problems when we go near the Lord. Because the Lord Himself will test us, whether we are really sincere, whether we are really yearning to come and be close to Him. Because that is the only way we could have made our life sacred and worthwhile coming to know of Him. It is said that Saint Nandanar supposed to have sung, Chidambaram poha mateno, in janmate kedukka mateno, like that. If I don't go to Chidambaram, my entire life is wasted. That is the way Nandanar, who was an outcast, who was not even allowed to enter the sanctum and sanctorum or the temple premises, prayed hard that he became a vessel of grace of Lord Shiva, who moved even the Nandi so that he can see his image. That is the level of bhakti that we have to cultivate within ourselves. And this is an opportunity. Every Aradhana is an opportunity for us to remind ourselves of that. So in this, we should not be distracted by anyone, any confusion, and we should not run here or there looking for solutions from elsewhere when the Lord himself has come to help us. And another point which I wanted to talk aloud was, often we think praying to the Lord is just like any other prayer which we have done in our lives. Like usually we go to a temple and we pray because we want something or other in this worldly life. We think we will just go do some archana, pray once a week or something and come, and that's done. That has its benefits. Of course, that's the way we have to run our life. For everything, we have to seek the Lord's grace. But having come to know of the Lord who incarnated among ourselves, we have to make sure that our benefit is more than what everyone else in this world is doing in their own attempt at praying to the Lord. Swami says, I am the Sathya Bodhaka. Because he spent a lot of time trying to teach us truths in many different ways. There are more than 1,000 discourses which he has delivered, which are available in print and audio. There are books he has penned for over 19 years or 20 years, writing in the Sanatana Sarthi magazine. So these are all available for us to study and learn. And we should ask ourselves, are we just throwing away that opportunity of studying from the Lord? Because sometimes we are complacent with learning a quote here or there, like love all, serve all, and we think help ever, hurt ever, and we think we have understood everything. And we spend a lot of time in pursuing our own academic careers or academic work, seeking some professional having professional goals. And we spend years, decades in learning that, whereas we scantily pay attention to what the Lord has tried to teach. And that should be in our interest, our spiritual quest's interest, to make sure that we spend enough time and effort in learning this. That's why I was telling the Buddha, in the Buddhist tradition, they will say, Dhamman Charanam Gacchami, that you have to learn what the Lord has come to teach. And years can pass, decades can pass. But if we have not spent time, we are the losers. And not only we are the losers, we are the custodians of this legacy from Swami, which we have to preserve for posterity, for future generations. And that can only come by us studying, because what's in the book will never be understood by anyone unless we study them. And for that, we have to spend time and effort. Even this center of ours, the first primary objective is to study the teachings of Sai. And that's the way we have established this as an institution. And where do we go to learn? How do we learn? These are things which we have to ponder over. And for that also, the best place is Prashantanilayam and Puttaparthi, where all such serious students gather. Just like in a university where research is carried out by serious students who have studied and who continue to study, that is the center of learning with which we have to be always connected to get the best of learning from people who are doing serious study. So that is also something which we should not neglect. I thought I will point that out. Because when we do not do this, there is chance that we are misguided and misled by people who have their own personal ambitions. And it has happened to even the Sai organization. And in the past 20, 30, at least 10, 12 years, after Swami's physical presence not being present, there has been a diversion, a drifting away of the organization with newer and weird philosophies or interpretations of what Swami taught. But then there were many devotees who prayed hard. Swami, our connection to you and Prashant Nilayam and what you established as the path to reach you is not being accessible to us. And then Swami interceded and made changes so that people can be connected, and we will still have that opportunity to be connected to Prashant Nilayam. And we are planning a pilgrimage. Hope many will join and benefit from that. Because to learn, we have to go to the source. We should not go to a place which is not the source of the information. And may Swami help us, guide us, and keep us in his fold. And he will do that as long as we play hard and yearn for him. I'm sure he will keep us in his fold. He's very much with us. Recently, even materials and things like that Swami has been sending to our center in many different ways, which we can't even fathom. Recently, we got a large collection of books and photos, and so that devotees can have all that, just free of cost. It just came to us. So there are many ways in which Swami is sending the resources which we need. For that, we should be paying our gratitude to Swami. May we all use. We have a nice library. There's Shanta Akka, who is a librarian who works diligently, ordering and procuring books. And we should all use these resources, and they should not sit idle in those shelves in the books library. So I think these are things, some of this which we can do, which we sometimes neglect, or we forget, or we are distracted. And I think it is an opportunity for us to remind ourselves on such occasions and make a determination, take a resolution that we will do something different, something a bit more compared to last year, so that we get closer to the Lord and we make better use of the opportunity which has been bestowed on us by Swami of having come to know him. So those are the thoughts which I tell myself. I'm thinking loud, which I'm sure most of you all already know. But I thought it always helps to remind ourselves. And I thought I will think aloud. That's the best I could do. There's nothing more or new there's for me to share. With those thoughts, I will pray to Swami to keep us close to him, keep us connected to him, be always with us. Though he will always be with us, we can still pray and ask him to remind us all times that he's with us and guiding us. With those thoughts, I will end my talk. Thank you very much. Sai Ram.
விநாயகனே விண்ணுக்கும் மண்ணுக்கும் நாதனுமா, விநாயகனே விண்ணுக்கும் மண்ணுக்கும் நாதனுமா, தன்மையினால் கண்ணிற் பனிமுள் கனிந்து விநாயகனே வினை தீர்ப்பவனே, விநாயகனே வினை தீர்ப்பவனே, வேளமுகத்தோனே ஞால முதல்வனே, விநாயகனே வினை தீர்ப்பவனே, குணாநிதியே குருவே சரணம், குணாநிதியே குருவே சரணம், குறைகள் கலைய இதுவே தருணம், குறைகள் கலைய இதுவே தருணம், விநாயகனே வினை தீர்ப்பவனே, வேளமுகத்தோனே ஞால முதல்வனே, விநாயகனே வினை தீர்ப்பவனே, உமாபதியே உலகம் என்றாய், உமாபதியே உலகம் என்றான், ஒரு சுற்றினிலே பலமும் வந்தாய், உமாபதியே உலகம் என்றான், ஒரு சுற்றினிலே பலமும் வந்தான், கணநாதனை மாங்கனியை யுன்றாய், கணநாதனை மாங்கனியை யுன்றாய், கதிர்வேலவனில் கருத்தில் நின்றாய், கதிர்வேலவனில் கருத்தில் நின்றாய், விநாயகனே வினை தீர்ப்பவனே, வேளமுகத்தோனே ஞால முதல்வனே, விநாயகனே வினை தீர்ப்பவனே.
न चाहिए साईं हमें, बस चाहिए एक प्यार तेरा, हम तेरे हैं चाहे बदल जाए जहाँ, धरती बने चाहे आसमां। चाहे बदल जाए जहाँ, धरती बने चाहे आसमां, हम सदा तेरे साथ रहेंगे प्यार की नगरी में, सदा प्यार की नगरी में सदा। हम तेरे हैं साईं, हम तेरे हैं। कुछ न चाहिए साईं हमें, बस चाहिए एक प्यार तेरा। अब कुछ न चाहिए साईं हमें, बस चाहिए एक प्यार तेरा। तेरे ही प्यार में ही मिलती है हर चाहत की बहार हमें, हर चाहत की बहार हमें। हम तेरे हैं साईं, हम तेरे हैं, हम तेरे हैं साईं, हम तेरे हैं।
साईशं दयानिधिं सनातनसारथिं सुन्दररूपिणं मङ्गलम् मुक्तिप्रदायकम् साईनाथम् आनन्दं तव दर्शनम् आनन्दं तव दर्शनम् अनुपमभिनवरूपम् आनन्दं तव दर्शनम् अनुपमभिनवरूपम् विकसितकुसुमं मृदुमधुभरितम् आनन्दं दर्शनम् विकसितकुसुमं मृदुमधुभरितम् आनन्दं दर्शनम् आनन्दं दर्शनम् नीरजनयनं वदनम् अतिमधुरम् कुटिलितकेशं नीरजनयनं वदनम् अतिमधुरम् प्रेणति मे मनसुमुखम् सुरुचिरवचनं सुललितगमनं हृदयं करुणालवानं सुरुचिरवचनं सुललितगमनं हृदयं करुणालवानं प्रवहति प्रेमानवम् विकसितकुसुमं मृदुमधुभरितम् आनन्दं दर्शनम् आनन्दं दर्शनम् प्रहर्षितभावं प्रमुदितगीतम् अर्पितं तनुमनसकलं प्रहर्षितभावं प्रमुदितगीतम् अर्पितं तनुमनसकलं श्रीसाईशं सहृतचरणम् अहिरत आनन्दानुभन्धम् श्रीसाईशं सहृतचरणम् अहिरत आनन्दानुभन्धम् दरि समरि पमद पस दरि सरि मगरि सरि मगरि सरि पमरि दरि रि दस स पद द म प प रि म प द स सरि म प द स स रि म प द स रि ग सरि नि स ध नि प द म प ग म रि ग सरि नि स रि ग प म ग रि ग म प रि नि स प प ग रि म ग रि स प म ग रि स नि स रि ग ग म नि स नि स ग रि स नि स नि द म ग म प म ग रि स ग रि ग स ग रि ग स ग रि ग स ग रि ग स म ग म स म ग म स म ग म स म ग मनि దని మని దని మని దని మని దని సగరి గ సగరి సని ని పని సత్త ని సగరి సా ని సని ద మ గ మ ni da ma ga ma ga ri sa ni sa ga ri sa ni da ma ga ma ni da ma ga ma ga ri sa ni sa ga ri sa ni da ma ga ma ni da ma ga ma ga ri sa ga ri ga ma ni da ni da ga ri sa ni da ma pa ma ga ri sa ga ri ga ma ni da ni da ga ri sa ni da ma pa ma ga ri sa ga ga pa ma ga ri ga ma pa pa ma ga ri anandam darshanam anupamabhinavarupam vikasita kusumam pridhumadhubaritam anandam darshanam anandam darshanam anandam darshanam
Sai Ram Ganesham Bhagavan तुम्हारा नाम
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 तुम बिन कोई नहीं रखवाले
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 तुम बिन कोई नहीं आपत सहारे
तुम बिन कोई नहीं आपत सहारे
तुम बिन कोई नहीं आपत सहारे
तुम बिन कोई
साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा
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 भक्तिपुरीश्वर हे साई बाबा महेश्वर हे
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 साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा
साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा
निरुपम गुण सदना साई नीरज दल नयना
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 विभूति सुंदर है साई बाबा महेश्वर है
विभूति सुंदर रे साई बाबा महेश्वर रे
विभूति सुंदर है साई बाबा महेश्वर है
विभूति सुंदर रे साई बाबा महेश्वर रे
साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा
साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा
भक्तिपुरीश्वर हे साई बाबा महेश्वर हे
भक्तिपुरीश्वर रे साई बाबा महेश्वर रे
साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा
साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा
निरुपम गुण सदना साई नीरज दल नयना
गुण सदना साई नीरज दल नयना
विभूति सुंदर है साई बाबा महेश्वर है
विभूति सुंदर रे साई बाबा महेश्वर रे
विभूति सुंदर है साई बाबा महेश्वर है
विभूति सुंदर रे साई बाबा महेश्वर रे
साई सत्य साई महादेवा।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
दीनबंधु साई करुण सिंधु 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 साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
राम कृष्ण शिव शक्ति प्रेम रूप 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 साई।
युग अवतार बाबा श्री सत्य 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 साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
दीनबंधु साई करुण सिंधु साई।
दीनबंधु साई करुण सिंधु साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
राम कृष्ण शिव शक्ति प्रेम रूप साई।
राम कृष्ण शिव शक्ति प्रेम रूप साई।
युग अवतार बाबा श्री सत्य 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 साई। अंतरंग साई अनादनाद साई।
बाबा आओ मेरे कीर्तन में।
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 अंतर्यामी दर्श दिखाओ।
अंतर्यामी दर्श दिखाओ।
अंतर्यामी दर्श दिखाओ।
अंतर्यामी दर्श दिखाओ।
नैया हमारे पार लगाओ।
नैया हमारे पार लगाओ।
नैया हमारे पार लगाओ।
नैया हमारे पार लगाओ।
बाबा
ज्योति तुम हो साई,
जीवन ज्योति तुम हो साई,
जीवन ज्योति तुम हो साई।
बाबा आओ मेरे कीर्तन में,
बाबा आओ मेरे कीर्तन में,
अंतर्यामी दर्श दिखाओ,
अंतर्यामी दर्श दिखाओ,
नैया हमारी पार लगाओ,
नैया हमारी पार लगाओ।
बाबा आओ मेरे कीर्तन में,
आओ मेरे कीर्तन में,
अंदर ज्योति जलाओ साई,
अंतर ज्योति जलाओ साई,
जलाओ साई,
जलाओ साई,
जलाओ साई,
जलाओ साई,
अंदर ज्योति जलाओ साई,
अंतर ज्योति जलाओ साई,
जीवन ज्योति तुम हो 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 साई।
बाबा आओ मेरे कीर्तन में।
खनिया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरे नाम,
कन्हैया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरा,
खनिया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरे नाम,
कन्हैया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरा,
निस दिन में बजो तेरो नाम,
इस दिन में बजो तेरो नाम,
निस दिन में बजो तेरो नाम,
इस दिन में बजो तेरो नाम,
खनिया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरे नाम,
कन्हैया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरा,
हे नंदनाना गोपाला,
हे नंदलाला गोपाला,
हे नंदनाना गोपाला,
हे नंदलाला गोपाला,
गोपाला गोपाला,
गोपाला गोपाला,
गोपाला साई गोपाला,
गोपाला साई गोपाला,
गोविंद 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 गोपाला,
गोविंद 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 गोपाला,
गोविंद 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 गोपाला,
गोविंद 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 गोपाला,
साई कृष्ण साई राम,
साई कृष्ण साई राम,
साई कृष्ण साई राम,
साई कृष्ण साई राम,
कन्हैया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरे नाम,
कन्हैया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरा,
जिस दिन में बजो तेरो नाम,
में बजो तेरो नाम,
कन्हैया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरे नाम,
कन्हैया तेरी बंसी बजे मेरा,
हे नंदनाना गोपाला,
हे नंदलाला गोपाला,
हे नंदनाना गोपाला,
हे नंदलाला
Gopala.
Govinda, Govinda, Govinda Gopala.
Sai Krishna Sai Ram.
Sai Krishna Sai Ram.
Sai Krishna Sai Ram.
Sai Krishna Sai Ram.
धन्या तेरी बंसी बजे मेरे राम.
साई साई स्मरण करो.
साई साई स्मरण करो.
साई साई स्मरण करो.
साई साई स्मरण करो.
गुरु चरण कमल ध्यान 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 करो.
केशव माधव भजन करो.
केशव माधव भजन करो.
केशव माधव भजन करो.
केशव माधव भजन करो.
सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
श्री सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
साई साई स्मरण करो.
साई साई स्मरण करो.
गुरु चरण कमल ध्यान करो.
गुरु चरण कमल ध्यान करो.
केशव माधव भजन करो.
केशव माधव भजन करो.
सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
श्री सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो.
साई साई स्मरण करो.
प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम. राम राम राम. राम राम राम. श्री राम राम राम.
प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम. राम राम राम. राम राम राम. श्री राम राम राम.
प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम. राम राम राम. राम राम राम. श्री राम राम राम.
प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम. राम राम राम. राम राम राम. श्री राम राम राम.
पाप कटे दुख मिटे लेत राम नाम.
पाप कटे दुख मिटे लेत राम नाम.
भव समुद्र सुखद नाव एक राम नाम.
भव समुद्र सुखद नाम एक राम नाम.
परम शांति सुख निदान दिय राम नाम.
परम शांति सुख निधान दिव्य राम नाम.
निराधार को आधार एक राम नाम.
निराकार को आधार एक राम नाम.
माता पिता बंधु सखा सब ही राम नाम.
माता पिता बंधु सखा सब ही राम नाम.
भक्त जन जीवन जन एक राम नाम. भक्त जनर जीवन धन एक राम नाम। राम 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 श्री राम राम राम
राम राम राम राम राम राम राम राम राम श्री राम राम राम
राम राम राम
राम राम राम राम राम राम राम राम श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम
राम राम राम राम राम राम श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम।
जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतीका आश्रित कल्पलतीका बांधवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदैवमु पर्यन्तयु नीवे स्वामी पर्यन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्र शयना ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी ओ साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधको मंगल आरती अंधको मंगल गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा ओम शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु
बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
Om Sri Sai Ram. Thank you, Swami, for your blessings for making today's events possible. With your grace, we were able to successfully hold this auspicious occasion at our center. On behalf of the Executive Committee, we wish to extend our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to all of the devotees who helped to organize today's morning and evening programs. A special thank you to the spiritual team for organizing today's events. Thank you to the National Veda Group for the wonderful Veda chanting this morning and helping us begin today's programs with such auspicious vibrations. Thank you to the bhajan team for your melodious and uplifting bhajans and songs. Thank you to our speaker this evening, Aruno Uncle. You have provided us all with many gems of wisdom, including the significance of this Aradhana Mahotsavam day and how Swami has paved the way for us to remain connected to him today and always. Thank you to our youth and alumni for your various contributions to today's events, including this beautiful altar setup and decorations. Thank you to the Seva team for tirelessly handling all of the food preparation and prasad today. Thank you to the audio-visual team for your terrific sound and technical support. We truly appreciate everyone's hard work and dedication. Last and certainly not least, we wish to thank all of the devotees who visited the center this morning and evening to join in our commemoration of this divine occasion. May Swami's grace be with you always. Thank you once again, and Jai Sai Ram.
Saishwaraya vidmahe Satyadevaya dhimahi Tanna sarva prachodayat. Om 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 Saishwaraya vidmahe Satyadevaya dhimahi Tanna sarva prachodayat. Om